sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Google+, Facebook. Lots of things happening there every day. When I'm not doing breakdowns, I'm on there giving you great stats and information, and we're having a great conversation. Now let's talk a little bit about the Celtics versus the Heat, because I had date night last night, didn't think I was going to miss much, and my Twitter feed just blew up when this game finished. I can't believe how this happened. I don't believe that Jeff Green could have hit that shot. It was crazy. And let me just say this. Brad Stevens is already one of the best coaches in the NBA, and if he can continue to get his veterans to buy in, he's going to have a really good fundamental philosophy instilled in this team for years to come, and it's subtle. So I'm going to show you some really cool things here that's happening in the last 5 minutes of this game and how the Celtics were able to pull it off. Here's an interesting interaction as Bosh gives Olynyk a little shove, then pats him on the butt. Now watch how LeBron helps one pass away, because this is how you're supposed to do it. Jab your inside foot at the ball handler so you can bounce right back to your man. Jeff Green floats towards the corner and LeBron loses him for a second, but here's the thing. If you take a shot like this and don't get right back in position to defend, this will happen. LeBron is one of only 5 or 6 players you cannot stop once he gets going in the open court. Without a true ball handler, it was curious to me why the Heat didn't just blast Jeff Green on this pick and roll with a strong double team. Wade rotates beautifully onto Olynyk, and watch how he uses him to get back to his original man in the corner. He closes out well, but easily could have been called for a foul on this clutch Avery Bradley 3. The Heat run one of their better sets where they set a down screen out of the corner to flash cut to the free throw line. The only problem is it's usually LeBron who's getting that screen. Instead, they go with Wade, who's being guarded by one of the best defenders in the league, and it completely disrupts the cut. I don't think Jeff Green was aware enough of his surroundings and should not have gotten caught up with Bradley here. This forces a switch, the rookie on LeBron, a chance for him to teach the kid a few things. Instead, he embarrasses himself by over-dribbling. Running screen and roll against the Heat is a difficult experience for the best of teams, so it's important to get some movement before you run it. Here the Celtics get a shuffle cut, a flex action, then invite the double team with a screen and roll. This organically turns into one of my favorite plays, a pitch to the cutter out of the corner, who then gets a ball screen. No way to double this, and Bradley is clutch again with the floater. The Heat then run their best set, horns with LeBron on the left high post. A simple pin down by Bosh, Wade doesn't use it, cuts back door instead, which forces Olynyk to help, leaving Bosh open in the flat for the jumper. Here's that flash cut I was talking about, and this time they do it right with LeBron coming to the free throw line. The dirty little secret about this play is that LeBron almost always makes this pass to Bosh after Bosh screens for the guard. If Olynyk would deny this pass, he's got help behind him in Bradley, this set would fall apart. Instead, the Heat do their patented pass to a teammate who then throws it right back nonsense. The Celtics have ice principles here. Olynyk contains beautifully and Green hustles back, but then lets LeBron go middle, the one thing he needed to stop, and that gives up a gorgeous floater in the lane. Same play again, but there are some fundamental flaws. I'm used to seeing Dwyane Wade in the position that Ray Allen is in, and this becomes a problem later. Also, you never want to set a weak side screen in the lane, and here's why. Bosh ends up being there for 5 seconds, but is lucky he didn't get called for it. Now, watch how Bradley can stunt from the weak side to take away this flash by LeBron. The Heat flow into the next option, which is the back screen for the wing who will post up. This makes no sense to have Allen against Bradley down there, and this set is completely stagnant now. Should have been Wade down there posting up. However, when you have LeBron on your team, he can erase these tactical mistakes. Instead of moving the ball a bit, the Celtics decide to go right to the pick and roll and invite the double team. The weakness of the Heat defense is here, and it would have been almost impossible for Crawford to make that pass where Olynyk rolled to. Because there was no other action, the defense can keep the ball above the three-point line the entire possession, and Crawford is forced to burp up a bad shot. Here's another example of a wasted pass as LeBron hits Wade, who's right in front of him, and then gives it right back. Another tactical issue, the only 2 guys with the size to guard LeBron on the floor right now are Bass and Green. So why would you screen with Bass's man? They get the switch, but there's no advantage here. Crash gambles by helping one pass away, and we saw Michael Carter-Williams do this twice. He gets the deflection before LeBron can pass to an open Wade, and they don't get a good shot. Down by 4 with under a minute to go, the Celtics don't run a play, just spread the floor and run pick and roll. This is simply a fantastic move, attacking the weak spot in the Heat defense by stepping back and hitting the shot before Ray Allen can recover. Up by 2, the Heat need only run some time before letting LeBron go to work. Instead, they run a double drag screen across the lane for him, and he's open, but Wade is out of position to make that pass. He should have been closer to the middle of the court. But there's still plenty of time, and Bosh could have rolled to the hoop on this for an easy shot, instead jacking up a terrible shot when there were still 7 seconds left. In this scenario, 90% of teams would hold the ball and isolate their best player and more than likely shoot a bad three-point shot. But these Celtics are well coached and actually run a play with 3 passes and a pick and pop. Olynyk does a great shot fake, but should have taken one dribble and laid it up. On the miss though, he doesn't sulk, but sprints to LeBron to foul and stop the clock. Again, down by 4, most poorly coached teams would probably just throw up a 3 and hope for the best instead of a quick 2 and then a foul to extend the game. This is a truly great out-of-bounds play, as 3 players serve to cause a distraction when all they're really doing is dragging the Heat players away from the hoop so they can post up Wallace, who hits the tough layup. Most importantly, the catch was made close to the hoop, so the minimum amount of time was taken. The Heat benefited from being at home as their timekeeper was very slow stopping the clock. It should have stopped with around 1.5 seconds left. The refs looked at this again after the inbounds foul, but for some reason didn't realize there should have been more after the made basket. Instead, in what feels like a random number, they put 0.6 seconds up. While LeBron didn't seem to be too concerned about this game, Coach Spoelstra appeared to be focused. I just noticed that Dwyane Wade doesn't dribble before shooting his free throws, which is just kind of weird. While he doesn't rush it, it is way off to the right. At this point, intentionally missing isn't the worst idea, since the clock would have to run a little bit before the Celtics could call timeout. However, this time, he completely rushes this shot and proves that it ain't so easy to hit the rim without focus. This was simply awful and proved extremely costly in the end. And that brings up the final play. While Stevens drew up a beautiful play to get Crash the layup the possession before, the players didn't follow his design very closely this time. Avery Bradley was supposed to wait for a cross screen from Jordan Crawford. He leaves way too early, and this screen action goes to waste. Next, a double down screen for Crawford, but watch Jeff Green not get in position, tries half-heartedly to screen, and then flare wide to the corner. For the life of me, as a coach, I could never believe throwing the ball 50 feet across, 18 feet high on a lob to the thin part of the three-point line in the corner was ever an option on this play. Yet Green miraculously hits the shot in the face of LeBron James. After the game, Jeff Green confirmed that he didn't run the play as drawn up. From a coach's perspective, you never want to see your players override a play you designed out of a timeout, and certainly you don't normally tell the media about it. Brad Stevens is a young coach trying to instill his terrific philosophy, so it's one of those things where he had better make it if he's going to do that. So there you have it, sports fans. The Heat are going to be going up against this kind of effort every night, being the back-to-back champions. And they're probably going to get stung a little bit more than normal just because it's the law of averages, and that fourth run at an NBA Finals is, in my mind, like I've said, almost impossible. So we'll see if they can overcome these things and get some more action out of Beasley and Rashard Lewis. And, I don't think we're going to see anything from Odin anytime soon. So they have their work cut out for them with a lot of good teams. And it's completely surprising to me how the Celtics and the Sixers are doing so well in the Sun. So stay tuned. We'll make sure to focus on them and give them their own special breakdown coming up. And don't forget, at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?